Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. Hi, everyone. We're so excited to have you here today.
Absolutely. Today, we have a very special topic that many English learners struggle with: how to train your brain to speak in English naturally.
Yes, speaking English fluently isn't just about learning grammar or vocabulary. It's about training your brain to think in English so you can speak without hesitation.
Exactly. Many learners know a lot of words, but still struggle to speak because their brain is used to translating from their native language.
That's so true. And today we're going to give you simple, practical tips that will help your brain adapt to English faster.
By the end of this episode, you'll have a clear idea of how to train your brain daily, so speaking English becomes easier, more natural, and even fun.
And don't worry, we'll make everything simple and easy to follow. So whether you're a beginner or just want to improve your fluency, this episode is for you.
All right, let's get started and dive right into it. So, Julia, before we dive into tips, let's talk about why training your brain is so important for speaking English.
Yes, many learners focus only on grammar and vocabulary, but the real key is how your brain processes English. If your brain is still thinking in your native language, it slows you down.
Exactly. Think of it like this. Your brain is a muscle. If you train it to think in English, speaking becomes automatic, like riding a bike. You don't have to stop and think about every word.
I love that example. And here's another thing. When you train your brain in English, it forms new connections between words and ideas. Over time, your thoughts start flowing directly in English instead of translating.
Yes, and the more your brain practices, the more confident you become. You start speaking faster, more naturally, and with less fear of making mistakes.
That's so important. Many learners feel nervous because they're translating every sentence in their head. Training your brain helps you break that habit and speak more smoothly.
Exactly. So, in this episode, we'll show you step-by-step ways to train your brain, starting today. Even small daily exercises can make a huge difference.
And the best part? You don't need complicated methods or long hours. Just simple, consistent practice is enough to rewire your brain for English.
All right, now that we know why brain training matters, let's talk about the common challenges learners face when trying to speak English.
All right, Jason. Now let's talk about some common challenges learners face when speaking English.
Yes, Julia. One big challenge is fear of making mistakes. Many learners hesitate to speak because they worry about saying something wrong.
Exactly. And that fear often stops people from practicing at all. But the truth is, mistakes are a natural part of learning. Every mistake helps your brain learn and remember.
Another challenge is translating everything from your native language. Your brain is trying to do double work. First translate, then speak. That makes conversations slow and stressful.
I totally agree. And don't forget about forgetting words under pressure. Many learners know words when studying alone but blank out during real conversations.
Yes, and that's normal. The key is practice under real conditions, so your brain gets used to thinking and responding in English naturally.
Also, learners sometimes focus too much on grammar and get stuck. Grammar is important, but perfect grammar shouldn't stop you from communicating.
Exactly. Communication is the goal. Even if your sentence isn't perfect, speaking regularly trains your brain and builds confidence.
So basically, the main challenges are fear of mistakes, translating in your head, forgetting words, and overthinking grammar.
Right. And the good news is, in this episode, we'll give practical tips to overcome all these challenges and train your brain to speak English smoothly. All right, Julia. Now let's start with step 1. Immerse your brain in English. This is one of the most important steps for speaking fluently.
Yes! Immersion means surrounding yourself with English as much as possible, listening, reading, even thinking in English. Your brain starts picking up patterns without you even realizing it.
Exactly. Think about babies. They learn their first language by listening and being around it constantly. We can do the same with English.
Absolutely. You can start with English podcasts, songs, movies, or even YouTube videos. The goal is to hear English every day so your brain gets used to the sounds and sentence patterns.
And it doesn't have to be long hours. Even 10 to 20 minutes daily makes a huge difference over time. Consistency is the key here.
Also, try to read simple English articles or books. Reading helps your brain connect words with meaning, and listening helps you understand pronunciation and rhythm.
Yes. And remember, don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. Your brain is absorbing English naturally, and understanding will improve over time.
Exactly. The more your brain is exposed to English, the faster it starts thinking in English instead of translating from your native language.
So, step 1 is simple. Listen, watch, and read in English every day. Make it a habit, and your brain will start training itself automatically.
All right, Jason. Now that we've talked about immersion, let's move to step 2. Think in English, not translate. This step is a game changer for speaking fluently.
Absolutely, Julia. Many learners make the mistake of translating everything from their native language. The problem is, translation slows you down and makes speaking stressful.
Exactly. Imagine you're having a conversation and your brain is translating every word. You'll speak very slowly and might even forget what to say next.
So the goal is to train your brain to directly think in English. Start small. Try describing what you're doing in English in your mind.
Yes, for example, if you're cooking, think, I am cutting vegetables. Now I am boiling water, instead of translating it from your native language.
Another tip is to label objects around you in English. Look at a chair and think, this is a chair. I am sitting on a chair. Your brain starts forming direct connections between English words and ideas.
And don't worry if it feels strange at first. Your brain is just learning a new habit. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
Exactly. The key is daily practice. Even a few minutes of thinking in English can make a big difference over time.
So remember, step 2 is all about training your brain to think in English, not translate. This is how you start speaking more naturally and confidently.
All right, Julia. Now that we've learned how to think in English, it's time for step 3. Speak out loud every day.
Yes, speaking out loud is where your brain and mouth start working together. You can think in English all you want, but if you don't practice speaking, it's hard to become fluent.
Exactly. When you speak out loud, your brain forms connections between words, sentences, and pronunciation. It's like building muscle memory for speaking.
And don't worry if you make mistakes at first. Speaking is all about practice, not perfection. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference.
A great exercise is shadowing. Listen to a short English sentence or phrase, then repeat it out loud, trying to copy the pronunciation and rhythm.
Another simple idea is to talk to yourself in English. Describe what you're doing, your plans for the day, or even your thoughts. For example, I am making tea. I am going to read a book.
You can also use a mirror. Look at yourself and speak in English. It may feel funny at first, but it's very effective for building confidence.
The key is consistency. Speaking a little every day trains your brain and mouth to work together naturally, and over time you'll notice yourself speaking faster and more confidently.
Exactly. So step 3 is simple. Speak out loud every day, practice with yourself, shadowing, or even reading aloud. Your brain will thank you.
All right, Jason, now let's talk about step 4. Use simple words and phrases first. This is super important, especially for beginners.
Absolutely, Julia. Many learners try to use big, complicated words to sound smart, but this can actually slow you down and make speaking harder.
Exactly. The goal is communication, not perfection. Start with simple words and phrases that you can use in daily life.
For example, instead of saying, "I am extremely delighted by this experience," you can simply say, "I am happy about this." Your brain and mouth can say it easily, and people will understand you perfectly.
Yes, and short phrases like, I don't understand, can you help me? Or I like this are extremely useful. They help you communicate while your brain keeps learning naturally.
Another tip is to focus on commonly used sentences first. These are the building blocks of conversations. Once you are comfortable, you can slowly add more complex words and structures.
Exactly. Remember, fluency comes from being able to express ideas clearly, not using complicated words. Simple phrases allow your brain to think and speak faster.
So, step 4 is all about starting simple, practicing daily, and building confidence. The simpler your sentences, the faster your brain can train itself to speak English naturally. All right, Julia. Now that we've practiced speaking simple phrases, it's time for step 5. Train your brain with questions.
Yes, asking questions in English is one of the best ways to get your brain actively thinking in English. It helps you respond faster in real conversations.
Exactly. Instead of just memorizing sentences, try asking yourself questions throughout the day. For example, what should I eat for breakfast? What will I do after work? But think and answer in English.
Another great tip is to practice short dialogues with yourself. Ask a question, then answer it aloud. For example, what is your favorite color? My favorite color is blue. This trains your brain to form sentences quickly.
And if you have a learning partner, you can ask each other questions in English. It's a fun way to practice thinking and responding naturally.
Yes, the more your brain gets used to processing questions in English, the faster you'll speak in real conversations without translating.
Exactly. So, step 5 is simple. Ask questions, answer in English, and practice daily. This keeps your brain active and trains it to respond automatically in English.
All right, Jason, we've covered a lot of tips so far. Now let's talk about step 6. Be patient and reward yourself.
Yes, Julia. Learning to speak English fluently doesn't happen overnight. Your brain is building new habits, and that takes time.
Exactly. Some days you'll feel like you're making no progress, but even small daily practice adds up. Every sentence you speak is training your brain.
That's right, and it's important to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Did you speak English for 5 minutes today? Give yourself a little reward.
Yes. Rewards can be simple. A small treat, a break, or even just saying, I did it, to yourself. This keeps motivation high and your brain excited to keep learning.
Remember, patience and consistency are key. The more you stick with it, the faster your brain adapts, and the easier speaking English becomes.
So, step 6 is all about staying patient, practicing daily, and rewarding yourself. This mindset makes learning enjoyable and sustainable.
All right, Julia, now that we've covered all the steps, let's put them together into a daily routine that will really train your brain to speak English.
Yes, a simple daily routine makes all the tips we discussed much easier to follow. You don't need hours every day, just consistency.
Here's a suggestion. Start your day with 10 minutes of listening. Podcasts, songs, or short videos in English. This immerses your brain in the language.
Next, spend 10 minutes speaking out loud. It could be describing your day, shadowing sentences, or practicing simple dialogues.
Then, take 5 minutes to think in English. Ask yourself questions. Describe what you see or plan your day, all in English.
Exactly. That's just 25 minutes a day, but it trains your brain to think, speak, and respond in English naturally.
And remember, the key is consistency. Doing a little every day is much more effective than studying a lot only once in a while.
Yes, make it a habit, track your progress, and reward yourself. Over time, your brain will start speaking English automatically.
All right, Julia, let's quickly summarize what we learned today.
Yes, we talked about how to train your brain to speak English naturally. Immerse yourself in English, think in English, speak out loud, start with simple words, ask questions, be patient, and follow a daily routine.
Exactly. If you practice these steps consistently, your brain will start thinking and responding in English automatically. Speaking will become easier, faster, and more confident.
And remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress, daily practice, and enjoying the journey. Every small effort counts.
So start today, take small steps, and trust your brain. You are capable of speaking English fluently.
Yes, keep practicing, stay motivated, and most importantly, have fun with English.